now. What's up?
What's going on? Um, well, I see Sam's here and Lori's here. So, uh,
So,
first,
I guess how to say it, as you can see from the title, we have some things to discuss, and then the rest of the time, I guess, will just be to hang out. Hey, Bash Paranormal Research, what's up, taking Bootsy? Wolf,
we're at a crossroads, and I'm not real sure how to explain it. We just we feel insignificant, and like we don't really matter. And maybe that's because we've never mattered. And these thoughts are haunting. And it just seems like everything that I've tried to do has been a complete failure. Everything. And we're lost. And we don't know where to go. We don't know where we come from. And it's gotten to a point that it's gotten bad. And and it just seems like no matter how hard we work, that it just doesn't matter. And you know, I don't know how to explain it, but this is how I feel. This is how we feel, and um, I don't want to travel down this road anymore. I don't, and I can't escape the things that I've seen and the nightmares that I have, and it's built on me this past week, and somewhere I opened the door and these things came out, and I'm not okay. I have not been okay for a long time, and it's heartbreaking, and I feel just used up, and
their sound.
I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what happened.
Appreciate it, G.
What's going on, fellas?
I feel so lost. I feel like my whole life has been a lie, and I don't know who I am.
Brother, I've
And
been
and I ain't gonna lie, having COVID was really, really hard on me. I didn't think that it would be that hard because I've talked to other people who's had it, and I've always thought, well, if I get
I
COVID,
think it was us. So
if I get COVID, I'll just slide right through it. And I didn't slide right through it at all. And because I had COVID, I almost hurt people that I cared about. And and because Hound tried to take care of me when I was sick, he got sick. And what if he would have died?
dude, you ought to try having it for a month.
I didn't want to have it for a day. It sucked. It sucked. I don't know how you did it. I don't. And I've
I
thought a lot.
almost I almost didn't do it, brother.
I know. And I ain't gonna lie, there was times when I sat here, I didn't know if I was gonna survive it. And it scared the shit out of me. Because if something happens to me, then he's here alone in this world.
Yep.
And them are the thoughts, you know what I'm saying, Sam? Those are the thoughts that run through my head every single day. I was like, what if I go to bed and I stop breathing?
Yep.
And it scared me.
It does. It scares the shit out of you, bro.
And I knew that the COVID that I had was nowhere near what you had, wasn't even close to it. But it whispers, and that's just compounded to the things that I've already got going on.
Yeah.
And
well, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. Today, I was this close to fucking quitting. I was about ready just to delete the damn channel because these laptops is giving me shit, or the SD cards or something. I couldn't get shit to fucking work.
yeah.
Nothing. I was about ready to just throw my hands up and done. I'm tired of it.
Well, I'm only just being transparent. I'm just trying to let people know that this is what's going on. This is how we're feeling, and and something has got to change. I've been going down this road for so long, and I keep telling myself I want to get off. I want to get off this ride. I don't want to ride it anymore. And it dawned on me that I'm the one that's driving the fucking vehicle. And
Yeah.
And then I had a dream. I laid down and took a nap, because I still, get tired and fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a lot more active the past couple days than I have been all week, but I lay down and I took a nap, and I had this dream, and it's so vivid and it was so real that we were walking down this road, and I knew where I was, but I didn't know where I was. And I come to the cemetery, and in the middle of this cemetery was this concession stand like you would see at the fair. And then there was a woman at this little roadside stand, and I asked her, I said, "Is that real?" Because I mean, who the hell sees a concession stand? I mean, I saw the signs for cotton candy and stuff, and I was like, it's out in the middle of the cemetery. And then she said, yeah, that's real. And then I heard a voice come from that, and it said, you're not okay, and you don't have to be okay. And and then I woke up, man, and all these feelings were on me, and I've tried to shake them, and I don't know. And it's weird. I've been feeling this way for a long time, I think. I think I've been affected greatly by things that's going on around here in these past several months.
Dude,
And
you know how many times I've wanted to give up when my dad left me with this freaking house and everything I had that was going on with it.
Yep.
Car troubles. I had to refinance the house to get another car, which put me 11 more years to pay this place off if I keep it that long. It's been this way my whole life. But I always found in myself, I dug down deep and like picked myself up and say, hey, I can do this. And I have. The things that I've done around the house to keep my bills cheap, I can pat myself on the back because I done it. Me, nobody else.
Damn right, you did.
So I've been down that road. I know. I understand. I sat here on my couch. I got down so low that if my dad hadn't come in the back door, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
I agree, Boots. It's not an option.
I can't go down that road no more. I've got to think about something else other than that. And I do every single day when I wake up.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about. Excuse me. I'm not thinking about anything like that.
Well, I
I'm
know,
just,
but I'm saying that's how far down I got. I just felt like I couldn't do it no more. There was nothing else for me to do. Him coming in that back door saved me. And from that point on, I always thought in the back of my head, there's something else good than what's going on. And I have to make that good. Nobody else is going to do it for me.
I'm glad you didn't, because it would have been a whole big thing trying to rescue you from hell.
Oh, shit, they'd have kicked me out. They'd have sent me
I
right back up.
would have just made a few phone calls.
Yeah. Pulled a
I feel
few
like
strings.
Wolf and Hound, I'm down here at the Black Chapel. Come get me.
So, me and Hal's been talking, and um, I'm not sure, and I don't know how to put this, and I'm not sure that, and we want to be fair to people too, and we feel like, that we want to give ourselves to everybody, not just a certain select few who's put in more dollars than somebody else, because somebody else may not be able to do that, and we recognize that we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for everybody else. And as bad as things are, man, we still see little points of light. And so I think that we're going to rearrange this whole tier thing. And if anybody has any issues with that's paid more money than the other person, then we'll be more happy to reimburse you. But right now, man, we're in the position to where, you know, if we do something, we want everybody to see it, and that we don't want to be unfair to the people who's been here with us for the longest time, and because things is tight, we know that for sure now, because we're about to go into a financial ruin, and so we want to be fair to everybody. We want everybody to enjoy the things that we do, and I mean, it doesn't matter, because we put a few video up for the few big tier members that we had, and it's only been watched one time, and that was by Laura Lee. So why not do it because the other people can see that stuff, can see the stuff that we've always just thrown away, tossed aside, because we didn't think there was an interest in
Why
anything.
can't everybody see it?
That's what I'm saying, and I gotta be honest with you, this whole being monetized and stuff, man, hooked us up. And when I say hooked us up, I don't mean that in a good way. I mean like a fucking trout. And we forgot what our mission was to begin with. And it's so easy to do. And I don't think that we're interested in being monetized anymore. And
You have the option to stop that. You know that, right?
I know.
but it sucks because we worked so hard to reach that goal, and now that we're there, it's lost a lot of its appeal. And
Well, do you think that it's lost its appeal because of how do I put this? Because of the chaos that has been surrounding your community with all of the people who have made it such a scorekeeping and
I think so. I do think so.
and
And in the
and
back of our mind,
that's
we,
absolutely fair.
and in the back of our mind, we look at ourselves and we think, when are we going to be next? when are we going to get attacked again? And well, of course, I will openly and say this. I mean, they can go down that avenue if they want, but they're probably not going to like the end result. Like others have found out, that we don't just lay there and take that shit.
I gotta really.
But we don't want to be attacked, and I will honestly say this: with all the drama and the stuff that's been going on, for the first time, I'm proud of the paranormal community. I'm proud of them because they did exactly the thing that I've been preaching all this time: is you don't have to tolerate that shit from people. You don't. These people are absolutely fucking nothing. They're toothless dogs whose bark is 10 times worse than their bite.
Well, the thing is that you guys have already shown, and there's a small group or a handful of people who have already shown that you don't have to be a part of all of that.
No, you don't. And I have seen people, good people, absolutely get mauled.
Don't.
And I've been watching this for a long time. Remember?
Right, but
I
what
tried to toot my own horn, but remember, I did try to warn people. I did. And maybe
Right.
I went about it the wrong way, but I did try to warn people, and I was the bad guy.
But this isn't about tooting anybody's horn. This is about how do you turn around now and teach other people around you, especially the people that are fans of yours and fans of Wolf and Hound, fan of Tennessee Paranormal Sam, fans of the people who are not involved in that, and tell them this is the model to follow. This is how you establish boundaries. This is how you teach people to not allow that kind of stuff in your chat. This is how you manage your platform so that you don't allow that kind of stuff to happen. You guys are proof. You've proven that over the last how many months that you don't have to tolerate that. And that's what you need to be teaching people. What did you do? What did you guys do that other people didn't do that got sucked up into that bullshit? And how can they emulate that? And how can you use that as I don't know, a way to bring your crew, your community, your platforms, whatever community you belong to together? Because it's not just paranormal, it's all the community. They're all suffering.
They are. And I didn't realize up until these past several weeks, I didn't realize how bad it really was.
Well, again, you can take what you're seeing on other people's things and you can take it for face value. But it's you have your expectations, your boundaries where you say, I'm not going to get involved in that. It's unfortunate that a lot of people have been hurt by that, but they have to learn to handle and conduct themselves in the same manner that you have for the last 6 months. Establish those boundaries. Don't allow that kind of stuff. Stop talking about it. Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
End of story. If people want to continue to do the things that they're doing, it's going to keep cycling. And we already know that that's going to continue to happen.
Yeah. And through this whole thing, I have actually gained a lot of new respects for people that I didn't have so much respect for. And because I didn't realize that they had been treated just like we have been treated, except the only difference between us and them was I nipped that shit in the bud like really fucking quick, and I used their own shit against them, and that's how you do. And they left us alone, and
Well, it's like I did in a live stream one night. I set the rules down straight. Everybody's welcome as long as they ain't no shit started. If you're gonna start shit, you can take it out the door. I won't put up with it, and my mods won't let it go on either.
mine neither.
You have to have the right people in the right places who will accede to what you guys are wanting to do and wanting to accomplish. And if that means taking away all of the wrenches because everybody's got a blue wrench and you can't trust those people, or timing people out who aren't following the rules, then that's what you do. But at the end of the day, this is your channel. This is Wolf and Hound's channel, and what you say goes. And that's it.
Exactly it.
And if I don't like it, I know where the door is too, but I respect you and your channel. This is your channel. You tell me As a moderator, how many times have you said, this is what I want, this is what I expect, and this is what you should do? Okay. But if I don't do my job, feel free to take my wrench. I'll bow out. That's my job as a moderator.
Exactly.
Well, I want to say something to Father. Brother, I believe you got that backwards, man. It's us who look up to you.
Yeah.
And we look up to people like Jenny Love, and because the crap that they've endured, but yet when the whole paranormal community turned their backs on us because of lies and deceit and just plain hatred, because they recognized that we were actually going to go somewhere. But people like Jenny Love never turned their backs on us, and they kept us positive. And people like her and like Rob and Kate and Kevin, they've all paved the way for us. And the best advice I was ever given, and Lori, you know yourself, you was there. The best advice I was ever given, it was given to me by Rob from Urban Ghost. And when things started getting bad again, I had to draw back on that. Well, this is what Rob said to do, because the shit that we've gone through is nothing compared to what those people have gone through. And
they're still doing what they're doing.
I know Rob and Kate. I've investigated with them. I've talked to them face to face. I've hung out with them, and they are the most genuine people that you will ever meet.
Speaking of, they just dropped the video.
Yeah, they did. And as soon as I wrap this up, I'm going to go watch that. And then people like Kevin and Caleb, they gave us a chance when nobody else would, when everybody turned their backs on us and were saying that I was doing sexual stuff to my son and all this other foul crap, but yet they still reached out to us, and they didn't care. Trust me, Kevin and Rob and they know all about that stuff, and it just so happened that the ugliness reared its head, and it proved everything I said was right, and that I was the one who was honest and transparent. I've always been honest and transparent. I'm rough around the edges. Yeah, I am a redneck. I do live in the freaking woods. Lori, you've been to my house before. Do I not live out here?
Hey, haunted highway bound.
You are in the middle of nowhere.
And but we're not filthy, stinking, ignorant, dumb, uneducated rednecks. And we're not. And thank you, Father. I see you. But we're not. We are so much more than that,
But you have to remember that on the days where you're feeling down, low, kicked, unworthy, not enough, you have to go back and remember what you just said. You're not those things. You have to, even though you're feeling that way, those are the lies that your feelings are telling you. You have to shift your perspective to, I've overcome this already. I've been this far. I've come this far, and not allow those things to bring you to that point where you want to quit. You're not insignificant. You guys know this. You've worked this hard to get here transparently and organically the right way. And there's no harm in that. Don't let other people's opinions of you or their own insecurities create that feeling of, I'm not enough or I'm not good enough. You're in a unique opportunity right now to take a look at some of those things and heal them. You guys have been through an awful lot, especially with the grieving process that you're going through. I've been through it. Sam's been through it. There's a lot of us who are, and it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to heal immediately and, oh, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be perfect. It takes time, and you have to gravitate towards those things as they happen. Some days you're going to wake up and you're going to be rearing to go and happy go lucky, and then you got sick. And it kicks you down, and it hurts, and it's hard, and you have to navigate that in a whole new path. But you can't let it negate all of the good progress that you've already made. Does that make sense? And I know you feel that way, and that's very normal. Everybody goes through that. Sam went through it too. He explained that to you at the beginning. You and I talked about this just before you guys went live. I mean, it's been 10 months of hell for me too. And some days I'm doing really good, and other days I'm a miserable shit because I didn't ask for this either. But you have people around you who do believe in you and think that you're enough and know that you're enough. And it's hard, I think, when you go through the things that you do, to convince yourself. You're your own worst critic. You're your own worst enemy. You're going to constantly be questioning your ability based on whatever factor it is, especially right now with all the turmoil that's going on.
Yeah. And we were so excited the other night. We were going to go out and shoot a video because we haven't shot a video since we were at the silo farm. And that's been several weeks ago now. And
It's only been 2.
well, we were raring to go, and then this all of a sudden out of the blue is like COVID decided to slap my ass back down again, and I got
Right.
really sick, and it's been hard. It's been hard. We've been, we went. I mean, well, because I had no idea that I would get sick. If I wished I'd have had some inkling, that I was gonna be sick, that type of sick, but I mean, we had no food here, and I couldn't just go to the store. We didn't know about, I mean, I've heard Lori say, "Oh, I've had groceries delivered." We never thought in a billion freaking years that we could get something delivered out here to us. And
And it's going to be a roller coaster too. I mean, and that's the hardest part.
I mean, yeah, but it just seems like when Mom passed, which, and I'm grateful to the fact that, we knew this was going to happen, and I think that's what bothers me, because there's so many people out there that didn't get a chance, the chance that we had, and that bothers me, and that makes me feel selfish, and it makes me feel bad.
You have to remember, though, that everybody's grieving journey is different, and you can't feel guilty or blame yourself for your own emotions just because somebody else is feeling something different. I have to own my stuff. Sam has to own his. You have to own yours. But you're going to feel and deal with your grief over Mom and all of that way different than I'm dealing with Toby. Sam's dealing with his mom. That anybody is dealing with a loss. It's not.
Okay. Here's the funny thing about my situation. When I lost my mom back in 2016, I lost my whole family.
You did?
When my mom passed, my dad's side of the family quit coming around and talking. My mom's side of the family quit coming around and talking. Never had a good relationship with my father anyway to begin with, my whole entire life. I think I can recall one time he told me he loved me. That's it. Never told me he was ever proud of me. So when I lost my mom, I lost my whole life. So it's just me.
Yeah.
I lost Toby, same thing. I lost everything. I moved 1,200 miles away 5 years ago, and it was just us. And now I have nothing, basically. I'm alone. I got to start all over again. I'm in the same shoes that you guys are. It's not easy to start over. It's not easy to have to try to figure out what do you do now? You're alone, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to be scared.
And then on top of all that, then we just lost Jennifer. And that just absolutely sucks. Because she's the one that, when we first brought up going to the Appalachian Trail, you know, and she set up the GoFundMe. They took us, her and Bobby. Bobby's not only my cousin, Bobby's my friend. And we go over to, well, I haven't been over there lately because of obvious reasons, you know, but, you know, and it just, we were just there, wasn't we? It seemed like we were just there and ate dinner over there.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
we ate 2 huge plates.
and it just that compiled on the way that I feel, and I think being sick and I feel like that we're being nitpicked. I feel like nothing that we do is quite good enough. You know, we just can't quite. No matter how far we stretch our hands out, we just can't quite touch it, and I don't know what to do. And
I think Sam can relate to that. I think I can relate to that. There's a lot of people who feel that way. You feel like you're just about there, and then something comes and kicks your feet out right from underneath you, and then you got to start all over again.
Yep. It's like every time something good happens to me, it's there for a little bit. It kind of gives my spirits, hey, I got this. Shit's going good. And then all of a sudden, bam, there's that wall.
It is. It's a roller coaster.
And you're like, what the hell am I going to do now?
I do got a piece of good news though that might or may not, but it might help some a little. And Wednesday I'm going back to work. So
Did you take a negative test already?
no, but I believe that I don't think that I have COVID anymore now. I don't think so. And Hound, he seems to be back to 100%. I think the reason why it was so hard on me, and I don't think that it's hard to explain. I think the COVID that I have was just a regular COVID that everybody else has been getting as of lately. But then I was like, why is it being so hard on me? I don't understand. Why is it just pounding me? And then it dawned on me, well, dude, what about these health issues that we've had the past couple of years? You know, and some of you know what those are. And, and I think that's why, because I've never fully bounced back from that. I've never fully healed from all that.
That's true, Amanda. Yeah, you can test positive 3 months after having it.
That's what I was going to say when Wolf got done talking. The nurse told me when I went and got checked, you can show up positive for 90 days after your.
Yeah. And then I have to, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to mention their names, but then I have to see ignorance being spewed from people's mouths and about the whole thing. And the funny thing about all that is there was a time when I thought that I was untouchable. And I even bragged about it. Oh, well, I've been exposed to COVID 7 times and I haven't got it. And then when I finally do get it, I have no fucking idea where it came from. I have a general idea where it may have come from, but that's not 100% accurate, and I don't know.
Well, it's like me. It's like when I went to North Carolina, it ain't no telling where I could have got it. I could have got it at, where'd we go to the grocery store at? When me and Toby went that one time? I could have got it off the dang bus. I could have got it freaking anywhere.
But what I've come to understand is that you can actually have the virus and not even know you've had it, or carrying that shit around with you for a week before you even show a sign of symptom.
Yep.
And
I think they said it's
scared me because you know how it felt when I had to message Lori, because we were all together over at the farm, and I had to message her and say, Lori, I just tested positive for COVID. And that was Sunday. And I woke up Sunday morning probably sicker than I've ever been in my whole life. And I will tell you, I sat in this chair up until I finally went to the hospital.
I'll be right back.
And the only thing that went through my head was, and I will say this, and I have to say it just to be honest, is that I probably just killed my fucking friends.
You did not.
And I know I didn't now, but that's that is the thought that went through my head, and I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't, and
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I carried that guilt. Ask Lori.
well, Sam, your guilt, the guilt that you felt is is the guilt that I felt cannot be compared to what you felt. You know what I mean? And but it just what I'm trying to say is that it compounded, that just added to the way that I've already been feeling for the longest time now. And
Sorry about that.
and then it just, the feeling like we were insignificant, that we really didn't matter at all. And that's the way Hounds always felt. Even long before we started this YouTube channel, we've always felt that we just didn't matter. We didn't matter, and that you know. And then you start examining that, whether you want to or not, because it's in your face, and it forces your eyes open, and you realize, hey, you feel that way because it's true. You don't
But
matter.
that's
You're insignificant.
It's not true.
but it's not true. You know that's not true. Well, maybe you don't know that's not true, but what you have to understand is that a lifetime of trauma and the coping mechanisms that you've had your whole life and the responses that you're giving are based on what you know is normal. But that's not normal anymore. It doesn't serve you anymore. It's not your life anymore. But that doesn't matter. Those are the patterns. It's the way you've coped with things because that's all you know. You're in a unique position now to get past that, to cope differently, to unlearn the things in your head that tell you what's false, and that's the lies that you've been fed your whole life, that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not going to succeed. But you've already proven that you can succeed.
Yeah.
That you have lived through all of those things. You've got 100% success rate, right? You're already made it this far.
Yeah.
But it takes time and it takes a lot of effort to unlearn the bad behavior that you give to yourself. It's that self-fulfilling prophecy of what you believe based on the way you were raised. But it's not your fault. You have to understand that the things that happened to you in your childhood and those traumas that were inflicted upon you are not anything that you had any control over. End of story.
How many times have we had that talk, Lori, about me?
Well, me too, and multiple other people who've suffered injustice, really, as children, people who've suffered a lot of trauma. And it's unfortunate that it takes longer to heal from those things when you're adults. It comes back and it bites you in the ass. And sometimes it takes a even more traumatic experience, such as the loss of somebody close to you, to get you back into a spot where you can say, now I have to cope with all of these things and start over. And it's not easy to do. It's
I wanna tell
terrifying.
you a story. I knew this little boy, and when he was 3 years old, he was abandoned in the street by his mother and his father, his real mother and father. And it just so happened that a sheriff's deputy found him. And this is the story that I was always told. And he was abandoned. And it was February. And when this kid was found, he didn't have no shoes on his feet. His parents couldn't be found. His parents didn't want him anymore. So he got put into foster homes. And one particular foster home was very abusive. And God only knows what happened to this kid. And the the thing about this story is that that kid was me. And I have gone my whole entire life, no matter what, it's always been with me that I was no different than a bag of trash and that I wasn't worthy enough to even be loved. And I was discarded. And that is something that you don't turn off. You never get rid of that. That is something that God will never take away from me. He will never take that. And now life has been really hard because I let that for the longest time define who I was. I fought against everything because I always felt that I had to fight just to stay alive. And you guys have no idea the things that I have been through as a child, as a teenager. And that stuck with me. And it affected me. And it soured me. And I did horrible things too. And
I think a lot of people do, though. I think because of the struggle that we have, you get to a point where you have two choices. You either have that perspective where you don't ever want to be the person that treated you the way that you were, or you turn in the opposite direction and you go around bullying people because of that. And you guys have worked really hard to not be that way. And
and
you do have sometimes you do fall back on that behavior where you bite back real hard because you're defensive and it feels normal to do that. But you've worked really hard to get to a point, and it's again, it's a process. It's progress. It's about practicing for progress, not perfection. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. And it takes lots of time. It takes a lot of soul searching. It takes a lot of shadow work, really, which is what Bootsy and I were talking about, to get right with yourself. It's not an overnight thing.
No, it's not. I'm still trying to do it.
So am I.
you know, and a lot of people don't know about the suicide attempt. And all I can say about that was where I fell down. I was at the right place at the right time, and the person that saw me, that found me, had no earthly business even being at their house that day. And that's as far as I made it, was into front of their house, and they just happened to look outside and saw me laying in the middle of the road. And how I'm still alive, because I took 30 Ativan and a mixture of other stuff. And I remember being in the hospital, and I said, God, if you take this cup away from me, I swear that I will never do anything like this again. And he did. He took that, and I worked my ass off. And I started going to a place called Daymark over in Salisbury. Now, Daymark, Hound will tell you, Daymark's 15 miles away. And I didn't have a car then. And I went every Wednesday. And it was important to me because I knew that that's, at that moment in my life, that's where I needed to go. And so I would walk that. And I would leave my house at midnight. And I would make it just in time for the 2-hour class. Sometimes I'd have to walk back. Sometimes I wouldn't get back home until after midnight. And you got to think that's 15 miles, and that's cutting across all these back roads, catching the old train line, catching the main train line, and walking that into Salisbury. And I did that almost every Wednesday. Hound knows because he went with me a couple times. And I did that, and I fought the good fight. for that. And
So can
and
you
I've been
fight the good fight again? Is your
I
mission,
don't
right?
I don't know if I can. I don't know. And,
That is a choice.
but I will tell you this: the cannons are loaded. I just have to give the order, I guess, to fire. I don't know, but I just feel so beat down, and
And again, we talked about this earlier too. It's normal to feel that way. Again, it's very cyclical. And when you're feeling in those emotions, in the really dark times like today or any other day, it's how do you find a new tool from a new toolbox to get through that moment, to find that renewed sense of lighting the fuse on your cannon. And that's hard. It's very hard, but you're acknowledging the feelings. Be proud of yourself for even taking the time to say, I'm feeling this way and this sucks, because it does suck and you have every right to be upset about it.
yeah,
But you're also very fortunate to have a group of people who do care about you. And you have to try to really hard to remember that, especially right now, where you're saying, I feel like I'm nothing. But look, I mean, look at your chat, look at your friends, look at the people that you've created your own family now. Sam can say the same thing. I can say the same thing. I mean, there are a handful of people now that have become my family based on
You can turn it on.
you guys were there for me. Sam, the three of you, after what happened, I had to start over too. And you guys have created your own family now and have an opportunity that when these moments hit is to reach out to your support, which is what you're doing.
That's what I did today with Lori. Like when I started having problems with the SD card and the laptops not cooperating, I walked away from it. I said, dude, I'm freaking done. What
You're
am I even
frustrated.
doing anymore? You know, why am I wasting my time with this? And I walked away from it, sat down, and I messaged Lori. I said, hey, I got a tech problem if if you're not busy. We talked through it. We walked through it, still having problems with it. I walked away from it. I said, it is what it is. I'll just deal with it.
We'll figure it out.
Walked away from it, went to the grocery store, come back, sat down, stuck the SD card in the laptop, and bam. All that happened was for some reason, the first four clips, or the four clips that I filmed at this cemetery that's going to premiere tomorrow evening, it duplicated itself. And the first four were no good. It wouldn't read. But after that, it read every single thing after that. The two cemetery videos, the pre-storm cloud video, it read every single one of it. Why it done it, I have no idea. It's done it once before, and it may do it again. But now I know how to deal with it. But I sat down. I was ready just to freaking throw my hands up and give it away. I'm done. I was ready to sell every freaking piece of camera equipment I got.
Well, and it's normal for us to go through that feeling of I'm fucking pissed off. I want to crash, burn down the world. Almost, and I'm not trivializing this. I'm not saying I'm not throwing a juice box either, but it's almost like a child throwing a tantrum. You get angry and you just want to stomp your feet, throw yourself on the ground, and stomp, 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 and be angry because that's what you're feeling, and that's normal. But Sam's figuring out new ways to cope with those things. He's reaching out to me or whoever his support might be and saying, this is how I feel. We had a little heart to heart about it first, and then we said, okay, what's the problem? Let's identify the problem. It's like that with feelings and emotions and the situation that you're dealing with as well. It's you're angry and you're upset and you're feeling a certain way. You've identified it. Feel it. It's okay to identify and feel those feelings.
But I felt like you did, Wolf. I felt like, man, I'm not good enough for this. I mean, I've been doing this for over 2 years, little over 2 years now, and look where I'm at. I'm like, man, I should be up there a little more. You know what I'm saying? And then I sit down, I relax, I watch a little bit of TV, and I start to think, well, I had a 3 month downtime because I saved up some money to buy equipment. I had about a 3 month downtime, when I had COVID. You know, or the C word. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can't
But
say
you have those setbacks, and you're
Yeah,
feeling the same
exactly.
way and Wolf is feeling the same way you did at that same moment of I was doing good a week ago because I was uploading my videos from the last silo farm thing that we did, and then bam, I got sick, and now you're feeling kicked and you're feeling down. It's a pattern of it's a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, and I want to get off the fucking roller coaster too, just like Sam does, just like you do, just like a lot of people in your chat do. Life sucks. It's hard, and it throws us a whole bunch of shit that's it's not fair. I feel that way every other day. This is not fair. I didn't ask for this. Why me?
I sit down and I think about everything that I've been through to get to this point. And right now, I told somebody this not too long ago, a day or two ago. My time is coming. All I'm doing is just buying time.
But you have to take the necessary steps, right? To put a plan in place, to pull the trigger, and it'll happen.
Yeah, it will.
But you guys know that you've worked this hard to get where you are now, and it's been a process of steps, right? Baby steps. Hey, Derek.
Hey,
You can't get to the edge of the Grand Canyon and say, "Hey, I'm going to leap this fucker."
true.
You got to make a plan and say, "Hey, let's make a ladder. Let's get down to this point. Then we'll
Don't
think
jump off the Grand Canyon, please.
No?
No.
Oh, fuck. It's been a dream of mine.
Not unless I had a
I mean, there's no water in the Grand Canyon no more. I can't jump.
The Colorado River.
Yeah.
Sitting down there, I'm starting to tear up. Wolf, you're a good man. You have a good heart. You're a fighter, hence the name Wolf. Don't give up, man. I fucking mean it. If you give up, I will get a passport, fast tracked, and I will be at your door, and I will kick your ass.
Please don't, because we don't need Derek in North Carolina.
I can see Derek getting off the airplane in his assless chaps.
Oh God.
My mom's calling.
I feel bad for the airline seat.
I love you, Wolf. You're a good man.
Oh God, I know. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks for the visual, Sam.
You're welcome.
Asshole.
I am that way.
Sam, you're a one sick bastard. You know that?
I've been called that a time or two.
You're a good man, Wolf.
I thought I was.
You are.
You are. You're just going through a difficult time right now. Look at what all you've been through in the past that got you to this point.
Yeah.
Bye, Ben.
Look at all your supporters. Look at the freaking chat. Look at your panel. You got people out there that are standing behind you 100%.
I agree, Sam. I mean, it says a lot for me to be someone's supporter this long. Like I'm your supporter, and we bust each other's balls. But you know what, bro? I know if it came down to it, if I needed help, you'd be right there.
Chances are pretty good that I would, yeah. If I could.
Well, I'd have to say the same. Who's had my back for the last 10 months? You're looking at it.
Like I saw that me and Hound saw that somebody that we know, that we admire, that we like, didn't have no food and didn't really have the money to buy it, and they were doing donations, and we have next to nothing. But we believe in that you share what you have, and so we did, and we gave what we could, and
At the end of the day, it's the thought, though. It's the thought that counts, even if it's $1, even if it's $5, even if it's just the small amount. It's the fact that you care enough to be there and share what you have, even if it is a very small amount.
Yeah, and and most of you know that I am not a religious person, but there is one particular thing that comes to mind when I think of that, and it was when Jesus said to the disciples. I can't remember what book it's in. It may be John, it could be Luke, but he said, "If I was hungry, would you feed me?" And they were like, "Yeah, Rabbi, of course we would." He said, "Well, if I was thirsty, would you give me something to drink?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Right.
He said, "If I was naked, would you clothe me? If I was sick, would you visit me?" And it was like, "Yeah." And Jesus said, "Well, why won't you do that for the least? Because what you, the least you do to them, you've done it to me." And something about that has always stuck with me, because how many times have we gave money to? We have a homeless dude here in town that every time we saw him, we saw that man sleeping on the wet ground. And I had been carrying this African around in the trunk of my car for the longest time. And we took it out, and I woke him up, and I said, "Here, man, lay on this." And then the cops was messing with him one day. And so he was standing in the middle of the road. So I walked right up to him in the middle of the road, and we gave him like $20, didn't we? Right in front of that cop. Because it bothers me to think that somebody might be hungry, and because I've been hungry, I've been homeless. I have eaten out of trash cans, and these were things that happened to me, and mostly, to be honest, mostly because of positions that I put myself in. There was a time when they were absolutely, I gave no fucks about nothing. I didn't care. I didn't care whether I lived or died, because what did it matter? What did it really matter? Because I felt dead already.
Well, and I had a conversation with some people last night. Was it last night or the night before? I think it was last night. About it's wonderful that you give so freely of yourself to other people.
Yeah.
But at what point do you stop and turn around and give yourself the same grace and give back to yourself the same generosity, the same love, the same compassion for yourself that you do for other people?
It was
And
last night.
that's
I think
very, yeah, and that I think that that's a lot of us, myself included. I'll just speak first person. For many, many years, I spent more time worrying about everyone else and not myself. And if you give, and give nothing back to yourself, you cannot drink from an empty cup.
True.
And it's a wonderful thing to be compassionate and kind and help everyone else. But you're at a position right now where you're not helping yourself, and you got to give yourself back that same compassion. If you can give the shirt off your back for other people, then you need to give yourself that same love, and remind yourself that if you're that kind of person, then you can't sit there and say, "I'm not a good person." You obviously are, but you need to give that back to yourself. And it takes a lot of time to get to that point.
Well, can I ask you a question?
it depends.
Okay. If now I'm only speaking for me. I'm only speaking for me, but this is a question for you too. You don't have to answer it. When I give to others and go without, it makes me feel good. Makes me like I'm being productive. Makes me feel that there's enough ignorance and selfishness in this society that one act of kindness, that old saying, pass it on. You know what I mean? So now, with that said, now when I do buy for myself and treat myself good, like Lori, that was last night we had that conversation.
We did.
I feel guilty. I do. Do you feel the same way? Now, you don't have to answer that if you don't want to, but it's just a question. Do you feel guilty when you do buy for yourself and you say, "I deserve this"?
Do I feel guilty? No, because there's rarely a time when I feel like I deserve it. I mean, I go
That's
to Lord,
that's the thing right there.
Like me, I don't feel like I deserve to buy myself something nice.
you don't feel like you're worthy of any of the goodness or the grace or the compassion that you give everyone else, and that's where you're wrong.
Yeah, you know, just like a prime example, I've been treated like garbage my whole life. Been called a retard, good for nothing, and hell. And I'll leave a name out of it, but Lori and some of the members of the chat can contest to this. I was on a panel earlier, and
Oh,
somebody came up on panel and said, "Derek, you're a piece of garbage."
they do.
And I'll leave the guy's name out of it. But if he fucking does that shit again, I got no problem blasting his name fucking all over YouTube.
Well, what's it going to solve? I mean, obviously, that person's got an issue being a super troll. Then that speaks volumes about who they are as a
But
person.
I know deep down I'm not a garbage. I'm not a piece of garbage.
Right.
It's
But it,
happened on. Wait a minute. This individual came up on somebody's panel.
Yep.
Is it somebody I know?
No.
it's not important. But the thing is, we are not garbage. We deserve to treat ourselves good.
It gets to the point in your own healing process in your own life where you have to get okay enough with yourself to realize that why not you deserve the good things that you've worked so hard for just as much as Sam does, as I do, as anybody else does.
Yeah.
You deserve those things. And why? Not because people in your whole life told you you didn't, but because you do. You do deserve those things. You've worked hard. You're your own. I mean, when you're feeling powerful and good about yourself, you take no shit from no one. You don't lie down and take shit from no one when you're feeling good about yourself. So why when you feel bad about yourself are you willing to lay down and say I don't deserve these things?
True.
It's a perspective, it's a mindset, it's an unlearning that takes time. It takes time. You're right.
The highway ban.
And it is hard because Derek, Sam, myself, you guys, we can all attest to that. We were told growing up that we were inconsequential, we were nothing, that our dreams and hopes meant crap, and that we would never amount to anything good. And see, I told you you were going to be a fuck up your whole life. And even when I went out of my way to make good changes in my life, I was still vilified by my family.
Right.
And they still tried to make me the scapegoat for their bullshit. Nuh-uh. Nope. Sorry, guys. It don't work like that in our world anymore.
That's like my situation. My parents, me growing up, me and my sister still in school, I didn't have good grades. You know, I was bad at math because I had a math teacher that was screwing the freaking other math teacher next door. He'd come in and write a problem on the board and say, "Here's your homework." Wouldn't explain it. Wasn't there for me to walk up to his desk and say, "Hey, can you show me how to do this?"
Right.
So I thought I had a thing right then and there going in my first time in high school, like, well, the teachers don't give a shit about us. Why should we give a shit about our grades?
True.
My parents was throwing me up to my sister. Why can't you be as good as your sister is? Well, you know what?
I've
My
heard that.
sister had run away 2 or 3 different times when we was growing up. She never finished high school, never went to freaking college. I graduated. I went to nail school, graduated nail school, and was in esthetician school. Almost graduated it until I busted and shattered my wrist and my radial bone. Or I would have graduated that and been sitting pretty in a job right now. But my point is, my parents throwed me up to my sister saying, "Well, why can't you be as good as she is?" So I had that growing up my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But I proved them wrong. I graduated. I went to an after. It may not have been a college, but it was a school to better myself with. What is she doing? Nothing.
See, I went to Roy Community, to Barris Community College because I had to take the Smoke Diver 1 and 2 course, and those courses are long and drawn out. and there's lots of little branches off of them. I mean, I still have a lot of certificates, and and I wanted to do that because that's what my life was. I wanted to be a firefighter. That was my life, and I even got offered a job with the Salisbury City Fire Department, and I turned it down because I didn't feel like I was ready to make that commitment. So I stayed with my community. I served my community being on the fire department, and the things that I've seen, some of the experiences that I had almost didn't come out of a house fire. Only by the grace of God did I make it out of there before I couldn't hold my breath anymore and pulled my mask off. If that would have happened, I probably wouldn't have made it. And I did these things, and I suffered greatly, and still do, because of some of the things that I've had to witness. And but yet, I was out at the church barbecue, and this old woman looked at me, and she said, "I remember you. Are you still just as horrible now as you was then?" And I thought to myself, "You old bitch. I gave myself. I almost destroyed myself mentally for this community, and that's what I got in return." And I was an active member with the community's church. I was, until I was betrayed. And and it's you don't shake those things either. And
No, no.
and sometimes I while and it doesn't bother me. And then hound to tell you, there's been times when I would watch a fire truck go by and I would just burst into tears. And the little boy stood out, stands out more than any other thing. I won't get into that, but it was so traumatizing that, and he'll tell you, if my friend Crystal was here, she would tell you, I would walk down to where that wreck was, and all I could do for that kid was just tell him, hold my hand, because he was such a little boy and he was really scared. And all I could do was tell him to hold my hand. I wouldn't leave him. And he died an hour after they got him to the hospital. And I went up to my friend Krista's house. They lived right where you know Krista. And they were debating because the neighbor was there. And this was a black family that had this accident. I just happened to come up on it right after it happened. And I would walk down to that spot, and I would stand there on the side of the road, and I would just cry. And I would cry because I felt I failed him. And I stood up in the church, and I said I felt like I failed God that day. And the preacher told me in front of everybody, he said, that child was nothing you would have done would have prevented the outcome. That God called that child home. The difference was you was there, and he wasn't as scared as he would have been otherwise. And you gave him comfort. And he said, and sometimes God sends angels, and they don't have halos and wings. They're just regular guys driving down the road. And that bothered me for the longest time. And then I had this dream. There was a knock at the door. And I opened up the door, and there that little dude stood. And he did not have this big gaping wound on his head. He looked kind of shiny. And he looked up at me and he said, you held my hand when I needed you. And he reached his little hand out and he said, I've come to hold yours. And it was a bright flashing light, and I woke up. And I made peace with that. And I still think of that. I still think of that little boy. I'll never forget him. And I do believe that when my time comes to leave this world, that little boy's going to be at the front of the line. I believe that. I do. And I've seen so many things just like that.
I've been in a similar situation when I was a first responder a long time ago. New Year's Eve night.
Yeah.
We was all at a friend of ours' house. We were having a good time, karaoke and doing a little. Hadn't started doing a little drinking yet, but a couple of us had, a few drinks, and our pagers went off. In between my town and the town I grew up in, was born and raised in,
Yeah.
some people. It was the coldest night of the year. About a 80, 89, 90, 92 model Camaro hit a slick spot on the road, went off the road, and overturned in a pond. There was 4 passengers. Couldn't save them. I had to stand by at the cop car to make sure it was running because they had divers in the water. Made sure the car was warm for the diver to get out and the next one to go in. Still remember it clear as day.
I remember it all. I remember every call. But it hadn't always been all bad things. There were some scenes that we rolled up to, and you just know that person wasn't with us no more. And it was like one in particular. We got a call at like 4:30 in the morning. We got like this exotic farm down the road, and people come from all over the country to come here. And the guy had rolled over. It came in as a single car accident. The guy had rolled over, and he was conscious. So we get to the scene, and all we can see and it was a Hispanic guy. He could not speak a word of English. All we could see through this hole in the side of the car was his face, and he kept saying the same thing over and over and over again. And so, as we were stopping traffic, this van full of Hispanics were on their way to work, and we asked them, "Do any of you speak English?" And one guy said, "Yeah, I speak pretty good English." He said, "Can you please come tell us what this guy's saying?" And he went over and he talked to him, and he said he keeps saying, "Lot of deer, lot of deer." That's what he kept saying, "Lot of deer, lot of deer." A whole herd of deer jumped the fence right in front of him, and he rolled his car. And we got him out. We cut him out, and the dude didn't have a scratch on him. And
Wow.
And then I've seen death in its most horrific fashion. And
You can
I've
smell
watched
it.
the heart. Yeah, you can. And I've watched the hearts and the souls of people just be shattered right in front of my eyes. And there wasn't no counseling for those things. You go back to the fire department, you clean your equipment up, and you go home. And I think they have better things in place now.
Thank you,
And,
Steve.
People that don't know what it smells like,
yeah,
you'll never forget it.
you don't. Or when you're covered with blood. Or you watch somebody's house, everything they cared about, everything they loved, go up in smoke. And you try so hard to save what you can. And trust me when I tell you, there's been times when we rolled up on the scene and the fire was so intense,
Dude, I know.
you could contain it. And
It's a hot that you ain't never felt in your life. You would think you'd almost in hell. And
you will.
it could be dead of winter. It could be 20 degrees outside. You got all this turnout gear on, and you're still sweating. You can feel the heat through the turnout gear.
Yeah, you can. You can. But that's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Those memories are just as fresh now
Yeah.
as they were when those calls came out. And there's some guys that's still with the fire department that were there when I was there, and I look at them and I was like, how do they do it? And I'm grateful they do it, because these were the same guys that came out and helped my mom before we found out that the end of the road was coming for her. And they came out for my dad. They came out for me not too long ago because I thought I was having a serious medical issue. And that's what it is. And it is PTSD. And there's times when sometimes I can't sleep because it rocks me and I dream about it. What? Do you have something you want to add?
Oh.
Kitty.
The outlook on things that you go through and you roll up on a scene when you save somebody is rewarding 100 times fold. I remember I was headed home one night. It was late. I was married, and there was a hit and run, and the car that had passed me had, once it got hit, it went off the side of the road. Well, I had stopped, pulled over, and it was two women and there was a baby in the back seat. And my first priority was to get that baby out, put it in my car where there was heat. And I took my coat off to give to these women while I called for, to have emergency roll.
Yeah. But these things have, and for those who haven't experienced like me and Sam have, you don't get rid of that. And it haunts you. It does. And I have cried so many tears because of those things. And not just things that I've seen on the fire department, and I've seen just as bad, in some cases, worse. And I wasn't on the fire department. And they affect you. And then you add on top of all that the stuff that's already going on in your head, and it just crushes you. It crushes the life out of you, and then you have what you feel insignificant, like you don't matter. Nothing you've ever done has mattered. And I will say this: being a volunteer firefighter or a paid firefighter or a police officer or an EMT is a thankless job.
It is.
And
It is. I never worked in the EMS field. I've worked in the recovery field, and it's the same. People have told me over 20 years, I've saved a lot of lives by telling people my story, standing up there and divulging everything I've been through. I once gave someone CPR who took an overdose of pills. And, until his parents passed away, do you know they never stopped thanking me for saving their kid's life? And the people that would pick on me at times turned around and said, Derek, you know what? You're not a bad fucking guy. You saved somebody's life. I said, it's just something somebody, I just turned around and said, I only did what other people would do. They're like, no, nobody would do that.
Yeah, they would. I've done it.
And
In the movie theater in Salisbury, I went into the bathroom and it was me. I can't remember how many people was there, but the guy he just fell right in front of us all, and you could tell he had a massive heart attack. And it dropped him, and we're doing CPR on him. It was me, and I got really fortunate because one of the other guys, I didn't even know him. One of the other guys was actually an EMT for Rowan County, and it was a police officer who was working security at the damn movie theater, and we did CPR on that guy, and he survived. And then, not too long, Lori, I know you probably remember me telling you about that, but it wasn't that long ago. My brother, before my mom got sick, my brother came down here and said the fire department's in front of the house. So we went there and looked, and there was a guy stopped right in the middle of Highway 150, and we watched them break the window out of his car. His car was locked. Pull him out,
lay him flat in the middle
of Highway 150, right in front of our house, and we watched them do CPR on him for
damn near 30 minutes.
And of course, you know,
Night, Steve.
I could tell by watching kind of what was going on, and I was like, this ain't good. And then when the paramedics showed up, they put him in the back of the ambulance. Now, normally, if that's going on, they're going to put you in the back of the ambulance. That's called a hot load. And they're going to take off and get you to the nearest hospital that they can, which here,
Lake
the
Norman.
nearest hospital would be Lake Norman. It's in Iredell County. And the ambulance didn't move. Now, we could see on video doing CPR on the guy. And then we watched the ambulance pull away. And they were not code blue when they left here. And I knew right then that guy did not survive. And so I asked, and come to find out that guy did not have a heart attack driving down the road and was just lucky enough to stop. He committed suicide, and right there where he stopped is where his heart stopped. And, and it was fortunate because the guy that came up behind him was an off-duty firefighter. I forget where he was from. And he was just sitting there with the car running. And we watched every bit of that.
whew, I'm still here. I'm listening. I'm just got something in my eye.
Call an eyeball.
You know, I can stand up. I can stand up at a treatment center, talk about my story, stuff like that, be a special guest. But I couldn't save my own mother's life.
You don't shake it, and it just builds and it builds and it builds, and then other people apply more and more pressure, and it's until you can't take no more, and you crumble mentally and physically, and it's just because I've never talked to anybody about any of the stuff other than you guys, the people that know me.
Sorry, guys.
And I've carried these things my whole entire life, from being thrown away like I was trash to being told I was nothing, that I wouldn't amount to nothing. And
I got no problem. I got no problem keeping my shit to myself at times because
you have to sometimes.
I've been told, who gives a fuck, Derek? We all have issues. Suck it up.
Sometimes it just comes pouring out like it did on me today. And that dream I had,
Whew.
I can still hear that voice in my head. You're not okay.
Yeah. I mean, I may look good on the outside, but on the inside, there's days where I just fucking crack.
Now, what the fuck a damn concession stand that looked like something you'd see at the fair had to do with anything? I still don't know, but it has some significance to that voice. But it's right. I'm not okay, and I don't know if I will be. But I guess it's okay not to be okay. But I know this: I cannot continue down this road. I can't because it's stripping away my life, and I have spent the majority of my life being miserable and sad and confused. And I don't want to spend what time I got left in this world like that. I don't.
That's a choice.
It is. It is absolutely a choice.
You can choose to be a miserable, and excuse the expression, prick for the rest of your days, or you can choose to be the wolf and hound we all love and adore, man.
And it takes time. It takes effort. It takes, well, like we were talking about before, it takes a lot of shadow work. It takes a lot of facing a lot of the things that you don't want to face, or that you've been resisting because of life, because of the circumstances, because shit happens and you get caught up in life, and then tragedy will strike, or in your situation, you're in a situation now that's different, and you have to reevaluate. You have to go back and look at all of the things that you've been running from basically your whole life. And you can run, you can keep running, but eventually it catches up with you.
It
Yeah.
does. And
And you and I've had this discussion many a time about that, and it's hard. It does keep coming back.
I think I'm just at the point to where the sword and the shield is too heavy now, and
Well, you have to lighten the load, basically. You have to share that with the right people who can help you redistribute the weight and figure out how to be able to manage your weapons, you know,
yeah,
to fight another day. It's not easy.
no, it's not. You're right. It's not easy. Nothing's easy.
But
You know,
it's,
But
oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Derek.
of all the shit this world did to me, I could have been a monster.
Me too.
But you know what?
me too.
I held on to my personality and my and what makes me me, and and almost this world made me a monster. I almost pretty much said, "Fuck yous all." Not you guys per se, but the world in general. And but I said, what's that gonna prove?
I think I've made that point to a lot of people. I could have, when Toby died, I could have taken a completely different path, and I could have burned it all to the ground. I could have told everybody to go fuck themselves, and I could have taken a completely different attitude about life, and just said, "Fuck this! It's not worth it anymore." And I could have devastated a lot of people, and I chose not to. I wanted to be a better version of me, and it's going to take a long time to become that. But I'm scared and terrified too, just as much as you are. I have to relearn a whole new life and start over. It's not anything that I ever thought I would have to do.
And yeah, and like I tapped in Chad when I came in. When I was 13, I started raising myself. I went to Calgary, worked the oil rigs, and when I lost my mom in 2015, that's when I truly felt alone. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I am a mama's boy. And that's when I truly felt alone. I'm
Well,
like, I'm like, now what the fuck do I do?
Lori,
I'll tell you something funny, Derek. When my mom passed in 2016, my dad was still living here. I still felt alone.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
what
I
toxic?
feel alone.
That's what toxic family does. I mean,
I feel alone. And even though Hound is right here, and in all intents and purposes, yeah, sometimes we fight and argue and want to kill each other, but all intents and purposes, this guy sitting next to me is my best friend and probably knows more about me than anybody. And there's times when I just completely shut him out. And
Yes.
and but out of everybody that here, Lori is the only one who actually got to meet my mother. Uh,
And she was everything and more than what I expected.
she sure
pistol.
was a doodle, that was for sure.
I wish my mom was still here so you guys could meet her through here.
Lori, oh, you can take the boys off, but they're mine, and you have to bring them back.
She threatened me. That was great.
Southern charm.
And then turned around and what was it? And turned around and invited you to Easter dinner.
She did.
Yeah, you didn't show up though.
You're right. I didn't. I almost did. Remember, we talked that day, and you were like, "Well, something, something," but you guys had something else going on too. And then I was like, "Well, then I'm not going to drive down."
I don't know what we had going on, to be honest with you.
Oh, you had to no, no. You had to work. You worked on Easter at Golden Corral,
Yeah, I did.
which is why I didn't come down.
I did. Um,
Because I asked you that. I go, "Is she serious? Does she really? You really want me to show up for Easter dinner?" And you're like, "Oh, I got to work at Golden Corral, so it's probably not a good idea."
Look, we used to have these big family dinners here on Thursday, and when I say big family dinners here on Thursday, that's exactly what I mean. This whole place was full of people, and my mama would
40
cook,
plus people.
and there was times I remember times when people would stop and open up the door and come in,
thinking it was a
thinking it was a restaurant.
Welcome, Lisa.
And but little did I know that Easter lunch would have been the last one.
Well, I kind of felt the same way. I didn't realize that when Sam came down to collab with Toby, that was going to be the last time that I would see him either.
So kicking the fucking teeth in.
Little did I know.
But you know, I look at it now. It's been what, 10 months, almost 11 months now. Going in September, it'll be 10 months in September 1st. And I look at the situation now, and Sam and I have come a long way. I mean, from the day that we lost Toby, which was hard enough, to where we are now, it still sucks, but
Yeah.
Little did I know that Christmas and New Year's of 2014, a year after that, I would lose my mom. That was the last Christmas and New Year's I ever spent with her.
I feel the same way, Derek. Because we think, what's Christmas going to be like? And then I think, remember on Christmas morning we woke up and Mom said, "Oh, I got a surprise for everybody. She got us all the same shirt, the same damn pajama bottom, and she wanted us to put on all the same stuff and take pictures together." And I told her on that day that I felt that would be our last Christmas together. And little did I know how right I was. In just a few months, and
we don't. Time is not promised. We don't have any promise that any of us is going to live till tomorrow, or that this couldn't have happened to any of us, right? And
Thank you, Lisa.
it's what we do with the time we have left that counts.
And
Right.
and the funny thing about before I lost my mom, she asked me to go to Zares because I don't know about you guys in the States. We have Zares Superstore over here in Canada. So she asked me to go to Zares to get something, to get some groceries. And I something told me to stay in the house. Thank God I did because I heard a thump. I go upstairs. I thought maybe she fell or something. She did right out of her bed.
Mm. All right.
She go. This is a woman that's worked for 50 something years in a factory off on S&A. So she goes from working something to do every day of her life to S&A, which you're not doing much. You know what I mean? Her bowels were given out. God damn it.
It's all right, Derek.
It's all right, man. But no, I watched that same thing.
Thank God I fucking stayed in that house and I never listened to her. Sorry, guys.
Even if you hadn't, Derek, it's hard for people who have to go through any kind of tragic loss of somebody that they care about. It's hard to not feel guilty for the things that you didn't get to say or the things that you didn't do or whatever that case may be. And it's something that we all have to cope with and live with, and that's not easy to do.
Oh my God, I've been holding this shit in for God.
It's not easy.
No, it's not, because you always are going to second guess your actions. You're going to second guess the what ifs. We all do that. I've done that. What if I did this? What if I did this different? What if? And you can what if yourself to death, and it tears your soul apart.
Yeah, and I've lived with a lot of guilt for having to take her off life support.
Right, and a lot of people have to go through that, and that's a very difficult decision to make. But again, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that there are things that happen beyond your control that you can't get past. I mean, it's not fair.
Yeah. Well, this is about Wolf and Hound. It's not. I'm sorry. So
About
Well,
all
it's
of it.
about all of us. It's about all of us coming together to help each other and support each other through the process of grief and feelings and emotions. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, who
But
better for us to talk about the things that are bothering us than with people we love and care about and trust?
and I love and care, and I trust you guys all very much.
I mean, there's
I had a,
not.
I had a similar situation, Derek, with my mom. We had two small dogs. One of them was a long-legged Jack Russell, and the other one was a min pinch mixed with a Chihuahua. And I was back here in my bedroom, and I heard a thud. He was already asleep, and I was up awake watching TV, and I thought, well, that's one of the dogs jumping off the bed. Because Daisy, when she you know how big a Chihuahua is in a min pin mix.
Yeah, they're not very big.
No, when she jumps
Oh,
off that bed, it sounds like somebody throwed a brick through the floor.
right.
I thought that's what it was, so I just laid there and kept watching TV. And then I started hearing something. It sounded like somebody was talking, right, real low over the TV. So I turned the TV down, and I was still hearing it. And I thought Mom was just laying there in pain, just moaning. So I thought, I need to get up. My dad is deaf. I mean, he wears hearing aids, and he still can't hear you talking right in front of his face. It's a good thing I got up because Mom was laying in between the bedroom and the bathroom and the doorway.
And
See, I got
where
a similar
she was
story.
where she was so weak from the cancer that she didn't make it. She had to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't raise her. Me and Dad both couldn't raise her because I mean, dead weight. You can't.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know. Mm-hmm.
So I wound up calling 911, and that was the last time she was ever home.
Well, see, we have a similar to you. After Mom came home and hospice came in, Mom was still pretty coherent and stuff, and still had the use of her faculties. And so Hound would kind of keep an eye on her and stuff. And I went to work. And then I would come home. And she'd usually be in bed by then and stuff. And we went to bed, and I woke up, and I kept hearing this sound, and I didn't know where it was coming from. So Hound said, "I'll go check on Mom." And he came back down. He was frantic. He said, "Mama's not in bed." I said, "Well, maybe she went out on the porch to have a cigarette." She wasn't out there. And then we heard that sound again. We found her at the back door in the laundry room. We don't know if she had failed because Mama was not Mama at that point anymore. And just that quick. And I said, "Mama, what are you doing?" And she said she was waiting on Jesus. He said he was coming to pick her up. And I said, "Well, how about I pick you up right now and then Jesus can come pick you up later?" And she's like, "All right." So we got her up, like you said, that dead weight. We got her up, and that's hard to do because you're trying really hard not to hurt her. She was really fragile, and we put her back in the bed. And at that point, I told my sisters, I said that somebody's gonna have to start coming and staying here at night with us, and
See, I could have probably gotten her up, but she had a port in her chest where she was doing chemo,
yeah, you
and
have to be careful.
you can't pull on any of that region because it'll pull that port out.
Right.
So the way she was laying on the floor, there was no way that I couldn't get behind her and pick her up from behind and raise her up because she was on all fours.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. There ain't a place that I can't go to in this house, and I know y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, that doesn't trigger some type of emotion. Like yesterday, I was out, not yesterday, day before, I decided that I was going to go work in the flower garden a little bit. This grass is trying to grow up, and I just stopped and I stared at the front of the house, and I just thought to myself, it wasn't that long ago we were out here sitting on this porch with Mama, and that following Saturday, she died. What day? Oh, whatever day the 7th was on. I think it was Monday.
I think it was a Tuesday.
Yeah, it
Or
was.
no, it was Tuesday or Wednesday.
I believe it was. I believe it was Tuesday because she passed away at 1 something in the morning.
Yeah, it was the day before Hound's birthday.
Yeah, birthday, and so that Saturday, it was our shift to keep an eye on her, and we had her outside a lot, out on the porch and stuff. And she kept asking us, "Whose house am I in? I want to go home. I want to go to my house." I said, "Mommy, this is your house." And we couldn't get her in the bed, up in her bed in her bedroom anymore. We just couldn't do it. She just couldn't pick her feet up. And so we finally got her to stay in the hospice bed in the living room, which is the same exact spot that my father laid in the hospice bed and took his last breath. He died in that exact same spot. So it's hard for me to go up there sometimes. Oh, because every time I do, I look at that spot. And of course, mom and dad both are still here. Not, they may be in spirit wise, but as far as their remains are still here and in the urn box. And so that's hard to do sometimes. And I think that family members seem to forget, that it was us who were here every day. It was us who was here that picked her up when she fell. It was us who were here that called 911 when
Well,
she
and
needed.
it's really unfortunate that the situation that you're in right now keeps kicking you harder because they're still scorekeeping you for all of the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
And that's not acceptable. It's not okay.
Well, we haven't seen our brother. The day my mother died, my brother moved out of here, and we haven't seen him but a handful of times. And the last time he was here, he never even came down and said 2 words to us, not one word at all. And I
Hey,
hadn't heard
CJ.
anything. And that's hard. And so that makes us feel like, that right there just tells us that we're not really wanted around here. You know what I'm saying? We're forcing ourselves to suffer and we're not really wanted here. So what's the fucking point? Right? They can do whatever they want. I don't care about this place. I don't care about this place or one goddamn thing that's in it. And I don't want to live here. I don't want to. And
I mean, the same broke, brother. I don't give a shit about this place neither.
of course, we get reminded, well, we got to sell the house. You're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to do that. Do you not think we're not aware of that? Do you really think that we want to stay here? We don't, but we have no other option, none. So we have to endure it.
Talk to Sam about no other options. You felt that way too?
Yep.
And what I'm afraid of most is somebody's going to push me too far. They're going to say the wrong thing. And then for the first time in their lives, they're going to find out why I'm called fucking wolf. And I believe in the tooth and the claw.
Well, it's Lisa. It's not really opportunity. It's it's situational. It's there are a lot of things that are out of their control.
I have an opportunity. Me and Hound know that at any given minute we can leave here and go straight back to Colorado. We've already been told that. We've already been told, I will come get you. And
didn't I just post something on Facebook the other day about opportunity?
Yes, you did. As a matter of
I
fact.
don't go back to Colorado, though. I don't want to go back to Colorado.
Well, because you and I've had this conversation before about what that means. And even if you go to Colorado, the same situations, the same problems, the same issues of you guys being used as doormats is going to keep coming back up. You can't run away from that.
No.
That situation is just as toxic as the one that you're in now.
That's right. And somebody I truly, truly despise lives there.
Right.
I won't mention the names, but
I've been used as.
I was asking me, would I leave if I had the opportunity? Leave here? Yes, I would. I do have the opportunity, but it's not the opportunity that I want. Not right now.
Right.
Because I got to be honest, we could just cut our losses and go. I mean, we could. It's just that easy. We've done it before.
You have.
But if I was to do that, that would mean certain death for Wolf and Hound. It would. It would. And Wolf and Hound would shrivel up and die.
Yeah. I've been used as a doormat over and over again, and
us too, and you know,
Sam, same.
And I put my foot down and I said, you know what? Enough is enough. Call it a spiritual awakening. Call it being tired of people's bullshit. Call it whatever the fuck you want. But I just said, enough is enough. I am a person. I treat you with respect. I demand the same fucking thing. If you can't do that, then you know what? Turn around and walk away.
Hey, you
oh,
could
we
ask
get
me.
told that. We get told that, but really, man, what is love, man? To be honest with you, I have no idea what love is, and
I honestly, today, the older I get, and I'm only 43, but the older I get, I'd rather have a few real friends than be surrounded by a bunch of fucking fake ass people.
Well, we know that it's all about quality and not quantity.
Right. Whereas before it was all about quantity. Oh, fuck you. Now it's like, okay, I just want quality today, not fucking quantity. I could give a fuck about quantity. That's just me.
A lot of
That's
it, a lot of it is finding the strength and figuring out what your path is, and all of the steps that takes. And a lot of them are really difficult ones. But you guys, you guys climbed the Appalachian Trail. It's you got to look at it from that way. We've talked about the mountain analogy before,
yeah.
yeah,
and it's
I mean, you know that's right, man.
not an
What
easy climb.
what we didn't realize was when we put our foot on that trail, and all we saw was that fucking trail continuously going up, 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 as far up as we could see. We stopped every 300 yards, every 300 feet, didn't we, Hound, to catch our breath. It was the hardest thing we ever did. And there was a point to where I was like, man, what the fuck have I gotten us into? You know, what are we doing? And what we didn't realize at that time was where we chose to start the Appalachian Trail going southbound was one of the most hardest sections of the H.A.E southbound there is, Montana Dam. And we did it. We conquered it. And we made it to the Cable Gap shelter. And then we, of course, 3 days later, we had to come off the fucking trail because the Hurricane Delta came in off the Gulf of Mexico. And where we would have, after the NOC, we would have had to go to jump off rock. And that's either you go down going northbound or you go up it going southbound. And even in the best of conditions, that's a very treacherous stretch of trail because it's all rock. And it starts out as a 6 foot drop off on one side and goes all the way up to 1,200 foot drop. And when those rocks are wet, that's like trying to walk on slick glass and ice. And we had experienced hikers tell us, "Oh no, we're getting off the trail. You can't." And this type of weather, you have to get off the trail. And it did. And it rained two more freaking days, didn't it? We never went back. That bothers me. That we never completed it. That we got run off.
See, this is exactly how this community should be. This is why I keep coming back to you guys.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of people watching anymore, though. I guess they got tired of us running our mouths. But
Well, it is. You got to be. It's 9:30 at night too.
Well, but it isn't about how many people are watching. It's about what is this? Is this beneficial for you, and what are you getting out of it? If you don't want to do it anymore, you can end your live, and we can chit chat and talk,
Yeah.
or not. I mean,
yeah,
Or I can put on my ass's chats for you guys in a private chat later if you want.
Derek, I have so many
no.
more problems. I don't need to add that to it.
I don't need to be black.
What? How does that go? I got 99 problems and assless chaps ain't one.
Or
Oh,
two.
No, Derek. No.
No means no, Derek.
We do not want to see assless chaps and twerking tonight.
oh, Lori, behave.
I had to think about this turkey I saw twerking.
Oh my
Have we
God.
met, Derek?
As soon as I saw that, I thought Derek.
Behave? Did he just tell me to behave?
No.
Yeah, he did. He should lose his kitty privileges.
I was just going to say, maybe he should lose his bird privileges.
I did
That
not.
too.
Derek did it.
Well, you know he's already down, fucked around, and tried to get me to lose my kitty privileges with some bullshit, and talking about I'm gonna make you lose your kitty privileges. Ha 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 ha. What he didn't count on was me countering and busting on his ass.
No.
So by
You
my
still
count,
pooped
not only
behind
has he
in front of
lost
the beer
his
cooler
kitty
wall.
and his bird privileges, but he's lost his fucking cheeseburger privileges.
Okay.
His That's right. You did say something about his cheeseburger privileges.
That's definitely to be taken away from
I'll
his ass.
voluntarily give up my cheeseburger privileges. So
And his cheese turd privileges too. Let
I
me
will
never
give
get
up-
another cheese turd.
give up my cheeseburger and cheese turd and man of war privileges. Just so
Hey now.
Yeah, like listen, he's always bringing up Man of War. What did he do? What did he do on our way to the farm? What did he do? He
He
said,
blasted Mad Hatter.
Yes.
"Yeah, Mad Hatter." He
Not
tried to
Man
say
of War.
Wolf's making fun of Mad Hatter.
Nobody
And this-
loses their Mad Hatter privileges.
Listen, he
Hey,
said,
hey, Hound, have you ever had her tater tot hot dish?
No.
"Oh
No, but I will sacrifice them privileges too, so Wolf will lose kitty.
no," but I
privileges.
seen she did have a jar of strawberry jam though.
Ugh.
Yeah,
With
Did it
the
have-
side of your feet.
Did it have fur in it?
where it looked like a toe had been down in there. I'm just
Nice.
telling you. But none was as funny as I didn't know we had little packs of strawberry jam at Golden Corral, and I found some. I was like, "Oh yeah!"
Ah,
Remember when we teased Jenny Love about it?
Yeah.
That time. Oh, she's going to what's it called?
When she does the giveaway.
Yeah, she's on. I think on the 20th or something of September, she's going to do our channel
When she does the giveaway.
when she does the giveaway.
I don't know what it's called.
yeah, she's gonna start doing one channel a month. I think that's what.
I think I talked her into doing it on Saturday instead of Friday because I have to work on Fridays. So I wouldn't mind cutting my evening short for that. But I don't see why we should. But we're like 2 minutes away from the 2 hour mark. It doesn't seem like we've been here that long.
Me and Wolf had our fingers crossed on that pink pendulum.
I did have my fingers crossed on it. I did. And I was so
I know.
disappointed. I was. Because I really wanted that one. I was hoping to win it. I really was, but
I would have rocked that pink pendulum.
I sure would have. I would have wore it around my neck, probably, to be honest with you. Because I could have been like, "Are there any spirits here?" And fling around. It probably must be in my tooth or something.
And then shit your pants when it stands straight out.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that would have been. I've been like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on here?"
Put it down, please.
Yeah, but I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was. And as soon as I saw it,
Yeah.
I felt it like, "Hey, Wolf, you need me." I mean, we have a pendulum. We do. Kevin and Angela actually gave Hound one because he loved theirs so much, and so they gave him one. Now we don't really take it with us very often, but the fact of the matter is we don't really know how to use it, and until we fully learn how, there's no sense in messing with it.
But there was something about that pink pendulum. I know it was calling me because She had all three of them up. It was the clear one, the marble one, and the pink one. And the pink
Yeah.
one, it had me right there. As soon as I saw it, I tapped it in the chap. I'd rock that pink one.
Well, no, let me tell you something, Lisa. If anybody is responsible for Hound cheeseburger privileges, it's Hound. Because listen, he's all the time trying to force Lori or taking it upon himself even to relieving me of my kitty, bird, and well, not burger privileges, but
I'll sacrifice all privileges, even kitty.
Lisa says, Wolf, you need to check Hound for a fever. He think he's delirious.
well, he suffers from mammyism.
No, I'm good.
Wolf, I had no idea, but you got muscle on your legs. Holy shit.
Right,
Uh-oh.
wait, man, about Wolf's
We
legs
could-
for.
Quit looking at Wolf's legs,
I
Derek.
gotta go.
Well, I can't help it. I
You're
mean, does
making me uncomfortable, Derek.
the
My
cat
mom's calling.
shave? Does he shave them or no?
Oh yeah.
Derek.
I
I'm
don't
calling you.
know.
Gotta go.
I've never had an issue with having like Captain Caveman body hair.
Fuck, man, they're smooth as shit.
God almighty. Derek quit. He's gonna bust out the assless chaps in a minute and start twerking.
Oh no!
No.
If he does that, all of a sudden he'll get a knock at the door. He'll open it up, thinking somebody's there, and that'll be a punch in the nuts.
Punchagram.
But
There you go, Derek. There's your punchagram.
You guys are twisted.
Or no, Derek breaks out the assless chaps. I'm running the other way, screaming for help.
if Derek breaks out the apples chaps, I'm going to get some goddamn duct tape.
Yeah.
And by the time I'm done wrapping him up, he'll look like a silver fucking mummy.
That would hurt, man. That would hurt.
Because you got that Captain Caveman hair going on, don't you?
Derek, when
See,
we
I
come
don't-
to Canada, we're going to do a fundraiser.
I just never had a problem. I think it's because, I don't know, but I've never had a problem with, like, I mean, I got hair on my legs, but they're blonde, so you don't see them.
Every donation
No,
will be
no.
a piece of tape to stick
Look,
Derek
I
to
used
the
to be
wall.
pretty hot back in the day. Now, I ain't gonna lie.
Welcome back, Rick Howe.
Because I was always down outside. Where I worked outside. My job kept me outside all day long. And now, man, I feel
Lisa, just in case you're wondering, we bust each other's balls on this panel. They've known me a year, so they're
The fact that you have assless chaps and
they're family to me. So
Yeah, so when we say something like yabba dabba don't, and we'd appreciate if you yabba dabba damn sure don't.
yeah, but don't do it, Derek.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Or we happen to throw in a cat juice in there somewhere, or a Bronto burger.
Wah, watermelon.
So
and Losfer will be throwing juice boxes at me, and fuck,
I just want the damn chair. You know that.
shit
All
gets
about that.
crazy. Shit gets crazy up in here.
Juice box hero, Rick Howe.
that's right. He's the grand
Dennis,
poobah.
Sam though, he's pretty cool. I mean, he busts my balls. I bust his. Well, I mean, what balls, So fuck.
Just the tip,
Remember
Sam.
when we got to Tennessee and we met up with Vegas and we
Oh
really
my
had
God.
juice box? She was trying to kill us with them goddamn juice box.
God.
I saw a juice box come whizzing past my head at 70 miles an hour. I was like, what the fuck?
She went all out, man. She was throwing Capri Suns.
No shit.
Yeah. She picked up one of them juice boxes we had and she threw that son of a bitch like a baseball.
Yeah, I went here.
Didn't you, Sam?
Uh-huh.
Didn't
Oh
you?
my God, a poking wolf.
That damn juice box.
Oh, Derek,
like a
that
savage.
just sounded so wrong.
Dude,
Oh, that's all right because he's gonna stuff Laura Lee.
I turned around. Hound was almost on the ground trying to get away from one, and I seen something right by my head. I was like, "What the hell are y'all doing?" She done had the Capri Suns out.
I'm glad she didn't freeze them first because that would have hurt if she would have thrown frozen juice boxes.
Mm.
I had to Matrix that son of a bitch.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm too old to be doing some Matrix shit. But that was a fun time, though.
At least we didn't start squirting each other with the contents inside the juice box. That would have been a real sticky situation.
And then I got really high, and I was trying to knock on Lori next door. I realized that I'm not actually on the third floor,
You were on the wrong floor.
and I'm banging like hell on it. And it's like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. And I was stoned out of my mind. And we had just gotten back from Brushy. That shit was fun, though.
Damn kids.
And then
Got
when I
back from
realized,
Brushy and stayed up, what, another hour talking about it?
I heard a voice, and it did not sound like Sam or
Then we have a little
Lori.
powwow. We had a powwow in our room, didn't we? We were all laying around talking about shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do that with you guys. Hopefully next year is go on a road trip with all of you and do some investigations and some explorations and whatnot. And
Yappa dabba donut.
Oh,
Yeah, but dab a donut. You don't even want to go there with the donuts. I miss
hell, they're
Eli.
trying to get to fucking Canada. What you talking about coming around here for?
Yeah, they're going to Canada.
Yeah.
yeah, well, we could use the Wolf and Hound show.
Well, we don't know if we can get the passports or not. But we have to have passports or they won't let us
Oh,
go.
God, Rick. Oh.
Get a passport.
So,
Robin Hood Men in Tights. Derek, if
I
Jake
got a
was
Robin-
earlier, I got another meme.
Do not read what Rick Howe put and do not get any ideas in your head, Derek.
Oh yeah, that's a meme waiting to happen right there.
You know what, Rick? Just because you fucking said that, I have an idea for my show.
He's
For my
manly
channel.
man in tights.
I am gonna buy a pink tutu and a ukulele and sing tiptoe through the tulips.
Do it. Do it, Derek. Do it.
Are
I'm
you
going
Do
to-
it. I double dog dare you, Derek. Do it.
Don't triple dog dare me because
I triple dog dare you, Derek.
Derek, you
Pink
have to wear the
tutu.
coconut bra, too.
Yes, you do. You have to wear a grass skirt and a coconut bra.
Okay, that's fine. Tiptoe through the tulips.
did I ever tell y'all the time I actually met him, Tiny Tim?
No,
I did.
he wasn't very tiny, was he?
No, I was working in a truck stop in Missouri. I was living out there for a
I know,
while.
Rick.
And I washed dishes in the restaurant.
Hi, Fawn.
And I went out to have a cigarette. And I heard them talking about a tour bus that just pulled up.
What, Link?
And in walked this guy. And it was the weirdest looking son of a bitch I ever saw in my life. And I knew who it was the second that I saw him. It was Tiny Tim. And I probably as far away from Hound to me from him. And all I had to say was, "How's it going?" But,
How's it
Yeah,
going?
come to Canada, Link Dandy.
Rick says, Derek, he'll drop a $40 super chat if you do it on your live stream. He's not monetized.
Yeah, you can't do super chat because I'm not
You
monetized.
can super chat Wolf and Hound. You can do it on Wolf and Hound's channel, though.
hell yeah, you could.
What's up?
Derek,
Welcome back, Fawn.
Derek,
retrieve the assless chaps.
take it away, Derek.
Oh God, I got to close my laptop.
Now you have the stage all to yourself.
Oh, you shut him down. He shut him down. Shut him down.
I'll come back, Derek. It wasn't that bad.
It's almost kitty time. I almost have to go feed the kitties and get ready for bed. Curfew.
It's getting that time. time for us.
Rick, I know you're joking. You don't have to be sorry.
Yeah, I got to swap places. My freaking arm's gone to sleep.
Well,
Yeah, I ain't
quit.
gonna-
Never mind. I was gonna say something about keep my mouth shut.
Take a purple. Just the grip, Sam. Just the grip.
Yeah, it's on how you grab it, Sam. It's on how you grab it. You got to grab it firm.
I'm right-handed, not left-handed. It's my left hand.
Oh, Derek, why do you know about grabbing it firm?
Shit, we've all grabbed it firm once or twice.
We've
Hound.
all grabbed it firm at one point in time in our lives.
No.
Have you ever not
Well,
had to
except
piss
for
and you're trying to hard not to piss yourself and you grab it and kind of like squeeze it off like you do a garden hose?
I don't have a penis.
No.
That would be impossible.
What?
Helicopter.
I don't
Yeah,
really
exactly,
that.
Sam.
Elephant. Fucking idiots.
Pee on
Thank you,
everything.
Fawn. Thank you, Fawn. We try to be great people. We're a little messed up at times.
Link uses both hands because
Wolf needs tweezers. Fuck, what are you talking about?
Who the hell said that?
Derek.
I did.
Shit.
no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Wolf, you know I'm messing with you, bud. Come on.
Derek, I would rethink what you just said very, very, very carefully.
Derek,
Well,
just
you
because
know
your
what?
ass picked up like a can of banging sausages for Halloween don't mean I did.
Sausage. Sausage. Sausage.
Yep, tiptoeing out.
You ever pull that one wiener out of the pack of wieners to put them on the grill, and out of all of them, that one just kind of floops down?
That's you.
Or
Are you fucking kidding me?
the tip is pinched.
Really?
I'm gonna run this idea by KK Bootsy. By morning, they will be a wiener with Derek's face on it, just looking kind of
Hey, and while it's tiptoeing through the tulips.
There'll be tulips and shit. We died to see KK Bootsy.
Mhm.
And she
Okay,
was
we're
here
talking since we're talking
She was here.
talking about wieners. Since we're talking about wieners and packages, I have a question. Something that's been
Why are you going to send your equipment there too?
no. Shush. Why is there always one extra of one?
What did you say? Derek needed equipment to.
Derek, why are you talking about you having a good time with wieners, man? What?
Why is there always one extra
Right,
what?
Lisa?
Yeah, what, Derek?
Derek, if you
Hound,
got
shut the fuck up, hound. Derek, what?
Shut the fuck up.
fuck up, Wolf.
Derek, why is there one extra what?
Why is there one extra in a package and there's one less in it, like buns or whatever? Why is that? Like, you guys ever notice that when you buy hot dogs or in hot dog buns?
There's one extra.
Takes hot dog buns in a pack around here.
Well, that's just the.
That
Yeah, there's
sounds
only
fucked
6
up.
wieners in the package, but there's 8 buns in the package of buns. Why is that?
Yeah, why
That's
is
what
that?
Derek wants to know. These are the things that keep Derek awake at night. How come I
I-
have 2 extra buns and no wiener?
I don't know where you're getting your dong. I don't know
That's
where
what
you're getting your dong,
dropped in your
but
buns.
there's always 8 in a pack when I buy eight buns and 8 in a pack of hot dogs.
Yeah, I think you're right, Derek. It is 8.
What kind of
Yeah.
hot dogs are you buying? Because I don't get. There's not eight hot dogs in mine.
Derek, you know what? Hot dogs are made out of lips and assholes, right? You don't believe me? Listen to the raccoon. He'll tell you.
Okay, I've seen the hot. Yeah, see, 6 buns and 8. Yeah,
Why do you think the moonshiners use a raccoon pecker to drip their moonshine?
What
Matter-
are you talking about?
Who, Derek?
No, Sam.
I don't
Fucker.
know.
Something about dripping.
yeah. See, Link Dandy knows. See, Link Dandy knows 6 buns and 8 hot dogs. Why is there only 6 buns and 2 extra fucking hot dogs?
When I buy a pack of hot dog buns, there's 8
What
buns.
if you, what if you
Right,
drop
there's only 6 hot dogs in the package of Oscar Myers.
Small
We get
meal.
8. We get 8 in ours.
Well,
Oh.
I must be buying the wrong fucking hot dogs then.
I ain't never bought a pack of hot
What kind of
dogs
hot
at
dogs
6
you get? They made out of lips and asshole. Oh no, Wolf, they're made out of all beef. What the fuck do you think damn lips and assholes are?
Have you guys seen the documentary of how hot dogs are made?
Oh yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
It don't matter.
Where
I
have you
like the
been?
dog. I'd eat a fucking hot dog in a heartbeat.
Did I go somewhere? I thought I was always here.
Ah, I gotta go. My mom's calling. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Now LinkedIn, he says, okay, 8 buns and 10 hot dogs. Holy fuck.
How the fuck did we get on goddamn hot dogs? I just regret that I even brought up Derek dressed up like a can of bacon sausage.
Sausage.
What is wrong with me?
I don't know. What's wrong with you?
This always happens. I try to say something disgusting, and Derek brings up some type of food group.
But you're the one that always says about how you investigate this house and you always have to poop on the side of the house.
Me too, Julia.
Hey,
watch this.
let me just clarify.
Oh God, here we go.
If you got to shit, you got to shit. Are you going to
Hold
shit
it
inside
in.
a haunted house?
Hold it in.
Because I have shit inside of a haunted house before. I mean, it had a working toilet.
That's good for you. Don't you go before you leave? Don't you go before you leave the house?
I have.
Here we go.
Sometimes you just got to poop.
Well, can you hold it in?
No, because Lori bought fucking KFC that time.
Oh, okay. It's always my fault.
Well, I had to poop, and I pooped next to the Lonely Lost house, and I've also pooped next to the Forgotten house.
The next time Wolf does that, here's a spirit saying, "Here you go, sir. Here's some toilet paper." Wolf is like, "Well, thank you." Go back.
Oh, but it has to be good toilet paper because he doesn't want to have the break his finger through the.
Real funny. You shit next to a haunted house, and the next thing you know, you got a ghost wiping your ass. Like,
Man, a ghost knows what it's like. They had to poop at one time. They know. They get it.
There's an outhouse at the Abbott Street
glad
Cemetery.
that I didn't drop the load inside the house.
You wouldn't.
If they had a working toilet, I would.
They're the Great Cornholio.
Now, what kind of toilet paper do you use? Two-ply or triple ply?
They use that cheap shit from Dollar General.
Yeah. So when you wipes his butt, the finger fucking goes through. Yeah.
Hey, now
It happens.
I buy mine from Dollar Tree, so I mean, you know.
Yeah, you supposed to. Yeah, look, man, you gotta wipe your ass. I mean, you're wiping your ass for Christ's sake. Why would you spend $14 for something that you're gonna fucking get shit on?
Exactly.
Because your finger don't break through it and touch your ass and your shit.
That's why you're supposed to wash your fucking hands and be a good human.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be a good
I wash
human.
my fucking hands and be a good human, but I still ain't gonna touch my own shit through the fucking toilet paper.
Well, sometimes
Right?
you accidentally put yourself in the brown eye.
You have a good time with that, buddy. I'll
No,
make
it's
sure
not
to
a
throw
good
some
time at all.
preparation A through Z in your direction there, pal.
Just if you're gonna hear my advice is if you're gonna use cheap damn toilet paper, just make sure that your fingernails are clipped. That's all I'm
wear
gonna
rubber
say.
gloves.
I use double ply or triple ply just so I don't get that fucking finger poking through.
You use apple pie? What? What?
No.
You burn your brown eye when you wipe.
Oh my God.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Or you
Yesterday,
just
I
sit
saw
on
this
it.
thing on Facebook, and it was about R. Kelly.
Drink my fucking
Now,
coffee.
Regardless whether Mr. Kelly is
Here we go.
innocent or guilty, he was proven guilty by a jury of his peers. But regardless, I wasn't
Allegedly.
there. But
Allegedly.
I did, allegedly. I mean, the dude got 30 years for allegedly. So, but it was what I said in the comment section. I said, you know that guy that fucked the pie? Well, in prison, R. Kelly's going to be the pie.
Wow. No, Link. No.
Oh, no, Link.
No.
No, we ain't going there again because the last time somebody told me to look that up, my phone just took a shit.
What happened? What is it?
Two
No.
girls. Uh,
Oh, hell
the
no.
funniest shit ever.
Two girls in a cut. I'm gonna look that up.
Wolf and
No.
Hound H.A.E. brought to you by
Your phone will take a dump. I'm telling you.
it's dicksportinggoods.com. Do not Google
Like
dicks.com.
on Fox, don't
My
it?
blue
Two girls
eye.
in a cup. Tonight at 9 Eastern Standard Time on Fox.
Clam jam. Snatch crackers. Nabisco's snatch crackers.
Well, I think we all know what job Strawberry Shortcake grew up into. What profession?
She's a toe sucker.
Yeah. Oh,
Ew.
Harry Hobbit feet.
yeah. Don't get me started on no goddamn Care Bear.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hey, Sam, Fawn loves your Thunder and Lightning video.
I just saw it.
I watched Sam's. What was it? I said, Sam, I don't know what's going on. I can't see nothing. You know,
Kind of reminds me of some of your early videos there, Wolf and Hound.
I told Wolf, I said, well, it is dark. You got to watch the video for the lightning.
I watched some of it, but I didn't see nothing. I thought something was wrong with the shit. That's why I was like, you might want to check your video, Sam. Something's fucked up.
You know what? I actually did. I was like, wait a minute. Let me make sure. So I watched it.
Did you give yourself a thumbs up and a like too?
Hell yeah, I did.
You better. I give all my stuff a thumbs down because I'm a hater.
I swear to God, if he comes back on here and got assless chaps on,
Derek,
so help me
don't
out.
you do it.
He's been gone just about long enough to
Hold
slide him
on.
on.
Let's just do
Come on.
this.
He comes
Come on,
in a
Derek.
coconut bra. You guys make $40.
Come on,
Hold
Derek.
on, Sam. I got you right here. I got you, Sam. Get ready.
I was talking about poop. That's probably where he went.
No, Rick.
What did Rick say?
No, Rick.
Oh.
Oh, I gotta go.
Fortunately, I've seen that one before, Rick. Strictly accidental, of course,
Oh yeah, allegedly.
but I just couldn't stop watching it.
Derek.
Derek.
I mean, who in their right goddamn mind would eat shit?
Okay, turn.
Derek.
Let's see what you got, Derek.
Yes.
We're waiting
You
on
ready, Sam?
I gotta go feed the kitties.
$1,000, goddammit.
I have an announcement to make.
What?
He has 2 channels.
So, fuck. Jeez. September 1st, I will be doing a food challenge.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, is that where you're going to try to eat 20 Bronco burgers?
No, I'm
It's Brontosaurus burgers.
No, I'm going to attempt to eat 3 poutines in 2 minutes.
I told you.
Just when we were talking about damn 2 girls in a cup,
Here you are.
and now you're going to eat poutine.
It's not what they think it is, guys.
I know. It's French fries with gravy or something on them.
And
Something
cheese
like
curds. Blech.
Well, cheese curds is all right.
Yeah, but
So-
not with gravy on it.
So
Blech.
September.
There's being weird
So
again.
will you? So September 1st at 3 p.m. I would attempt to eat 3 poutines in 2 minutes.
I want a Wolf and Hound to do the juice box challenge.
And it'll be live.
I want them to drink a whole case of juice boxes in
No,
3
I want
minutes.
to do the cheese turd challenge.
Would there be an opportunity for pooping in this?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
With a gallon of beer cheese
All that stuff's good.
Yep.
to wash down the cheese turds.
I'm a little disappointed now that I think about it because I didn't have to poop at Brushy Mountain. That would have been the opposite place to poop inside of.
Ugh.
Where you going, Wolf? I'll be back in a minute.
Oh my god! Next thing you know,
That big mean girl would have probably saw me, and that would have been bad. Because she was mean. What'd she say?
Yeah, Rick, you are the king of sideways chat and gotta talk. Fuck.
Yeah, why aren't you on the panel, Rick Howe? Come on.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah,
Yeah, what up?
get your ass up on the panel.
Yeah. And tell us how you're enjoying that Wolf and Hound Respect the Spirits towel. I'm not sure when the cups are going to arrive to Jason and Julia over there in Australia.
That's because you're at the mercy of Australian customs, and they suck.
You're funny, Lisa.
No offense, guys, but Australian customs take forever.
Well, they're
Who's
on
in
the
Australia?
They'll get them eventually.
They
Who's
will.
in Australia?
Jason and Julia.
Oh yeah.
We made them special too. Nobody will have a cup like what they got coming.
That's awesome.
Tell
Maybe-
what?
All right, folks, I gotta go because my curfew, and I gotta go feed the kittens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lisa,
well,
tell what?
But I will talk to you later.
Yeah, I'm fixing to have to roll out.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here too.
Love you guys.
Love
Don't forget,
you too.
wash your fucking hands. Be a good human.
do I have to be a good human? Can I just not can I wash my hands and my feet or my ass and not be a good human? Can I do that?
It's not wash your ass. Or wash your feet. It's wash your fucking hands.
Oh, I wash my freaking hand. Trust me.
Oh, Red.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh,
A
look,
lot of goddamn
look what Red-
things that I do are going to be done differently after experiencing COVID. That's for damn sure. I don't ever want that shit again. I don't give a fuck. I don't ever want it again.
Oh, Lisa, in case you missed it, September 1st, I will attempt to eat 3 poutines in 2 minutes.
I want to see that.
It'll
Yeah,
be
we-
live.
In his asses, chaps.
No, Sam, you sick fuck.
I'm kind of glad Lori split because whenever Derek started talking about what's it called again, Derek?
Poutine.
Poutine. Poutine.
Poutine. I was
No,
about
no,
to say,
Jesus Christ.
Derek, you about to eat that?
I was gonna say, oh, I done ate plenty of poutine, but
Oh.
there ain't no poutine. That just sounds like, oh, did the baby
Hey,
make a little poutine?
That's the Canadian version of poutine. It's poutine.
Fuck all that. I ain't eating shit that sounds like that.
Oh,
They gonna sound like my butthole on poutine.
yeah, Link, September 1st at 3
Poutine.
p.m.
Poutininess of the brown egg.
Well, I bet I done something you ain't never done, Derek.
What?
I built a snowman that had a wiener as a nose,
Oh, ain't you special?
Puffballs for
and it was
eyes.
all limpy down, and
Froze.
it looked pretty good when I first stuck it in there. But after that, the cold got to it. You would think that it would freeze it, but that motherfucker said, "Ooh." And then one day I came out and there wasn't nothing left but
Yeah,
a half-eaten
damn.
wiener on the ground in a puddle of water.
And the cheese proof's gone
Somewhere I have a picture of that goddamn snowman.
somewhere.
And I built that snowman in my flip-flops
Yeah,
out in Colorado in the snowstorm.
Booty tangs.
Yeah, Pootie Tang.
Oh, fuck.
I thought I saw
Derek,
myself
you
some
set
Pootie
yourself
Tang.
up for this one.
I love you guys.
I'm gonna roll out, guys. I gotta go change positions.
Yeah, so anyway, I just want to say one more time, we are going to switch our tiers around. I believe it's just going to be the Wolfpack, and if anybody has an issue with that paid that price for membership, we'll reimburse you. But we are going to lower the price down to that some more and make it to where everybody wants to be a member of Wolf and Hound, they can. And so when we do bonus stuff or stuff that we normally just throw away, we don't ever use, then all members will be able to see it. Not everybody, unless you're and there's only going to be one tier. Because
Awesome.
we don't want to exclude anybody. Now, if you're not a member, I don't know what to tell you, but that's what we're going to do. So,
Okay.
We're going to try to do some more giveaways maybe in the near future. I just got to get beyond what I got going on here now. I got to get past that. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Well, I mean, just sit back, do you take care of what you got to take care of. Just don't let it get to you, brother.
Yeah.
And you got us. You know, you got us. You got me on Messenger. You know.
Yeah, I know. It's hard for me to reach out sometimes, though,
Me too.
and to say what's really going on.
I feel
So that
you.
was a rough
I
time.
don't bother. I don't bother nobody because I know people's got other lives and doing their own things. And
I mean, I guess part of me just thinks, nobody gave a shit before. Why would anybody give a shit now? What would be the difference?
Well, we care, brother. We care and we love you.
And when you get to the place that I'm at, man, it's easy to think like that. It's nothing personal. It's my mind's telling me these things because that's the things that I've experienced all my life.
well, it's like Lori said earlier. It's not going to be an overnight process. It's going to take time. It's going to take baby steps.
Maybe I should just sacrifice it all to the devil. I don't know. I'm not really a devil worshiper. We just play one on YouTube.
I figured that.
But wait a minute, what'd she say? Oh, I thought she said somebody stole my wiener. I had to look.
That's what I had to look at it.
So-
What?
The only motherfucker around here is the cat and the damn hound.
All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I got some cheesecake calling my name and some apple pie and
And some poutine. I mean, poutine, poo stinky, or whatever you
Derek
call it.
wishes he had
What'd you
some
say? American pie?
apple pie.
In prison, R. Kelly's going to be the pie. I'm surprised I didn't get put on my Facebook for that, but a lot of people thought that shit was funny because they know exactly what I was talking about.
Love you too, Lisa.
pie.
I think the dude's guilty. That's just my opinion. I think he is. I think that case was proven.
So he's in prison. So R. Kelly's in prison.
Years for 30 years. He's got to serve 30 years.
What did he do?
Raped and molested some young girls.
Good. Fucking looks good on him.
Got busted. Now, like I said, I don't know if he really did it or not. I'm just saying the state proved their case. And if he didn't do it, then his ass don't deserve to be in prison for 30 years. If he did do it, then I guess
We got proved that he did it. So
then your ass has got to do. You was fucking up. If you did some shit like that, you knew when you was doing it, you was fucking up.
Right, Lisa.
So I guess that's gonna wrap it up now. Appreciate y'all coming. Appreciate y'all listening to our babble. Sorry it started out like it did, but
No worries. Don't ever be
just-
sorry, brother.
I'm like fractured and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. And that dream I had fucked me up. And
Look at
it
that
was
comment. Janie,
definitely telling me something. It was
Look at that
definitely.
look at that comment Janie just made. She's right.
She is right.
I'm not really very much of anything these days, anyway.
All right, Wolfhound, Sam, chat. Love you all. Good night. I'm gonna eat some cheesecake and whatnot and see what else is on YouTube. Maybe watch a movie. If you guys, Sam, Wolfhound, if you guys need me, I'm only a messenger, and I know that I have to do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But I just don't want to be a bother to know.
Videos or comment on my Facebook, but yeah.
I just don't want to be a bother to anyone. That's why I don't message you guys, but I have to start. So,
Yeah.
because I want to get tight with you guys outside of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, if you need anything, my phone's beside me 24/7.
All right.
Same here, brother.
All right,
Well,
brother.
I'm back to work, so I'm glad about that. Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. See you later, brother. Sambo, appreciate y'all coming. Everybody who was watching,
appreciate it.
sometimes this is just how things work out, man. You just. Do I feel any better than when I started this? I mean, I still feel the same. It's still on me, and it probably will be for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to quit YouTube. I'm not going to throw Wolf and Hound away. I'm not doing that. I got to get over some of this stuff, and I've been needing a vacation. We were planning on taking a vacation, and the fucking car took a shit on us, and then the car took a shit on us again, and now there's another problem with the fucking car. And I mean, I think that is just added to the pressure,
Yeah.
the shit that's going on, and I don't know, but I guess we'll figure it out. We usually do.
Yeah.
So I just want to say good night to everybody, and thank you for coming, Janie. Good to see you, Lisa. It's nice meeting you, Jason, the Ghost Hunter, Big Rick. See you later.
Not everybody in the chat.
Anybody that I forgot, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Link was here earlier. I saw Link, and I know KK Bootsy and Father, and his son was here, and so I just want to appreciate everybody for coming. And with that being said, we're out of here because my stomach's rumbling, and I might have to poop.
I'm already there on that one.
So,
And
as a
we
matter
are-
of fact, I do got to poop.